Fine. So, good morning, friends. I welcome you all for today's class, wherein we will be discussing decision tree in detail, right? So, yesterday we have seen what exactly is a decision tree, right? So, decision tree is also one more inductive learning technique, right? And under decision tree, we have three algorithms: ID3 assistant and C4.5, and one of the widely used algorithm is ID3. So what is a decision tree means we want to learn from training examples. We want to learn the concept, right? So similar to finders algorithm, similar to candidate elimination algorithm, the purpose of decision tree is also same. I want to learn something from the examples, and I need to generate a hypothesis, and after that I should be able to predict, right? That is what is the purpose of decision tree. That is what is the purpose of concept learning, right? So we have seen couple of examples like height and weight example. We have seen the example of our friend going for a water sport. In candidate elimination algorithm we have seen. Now similarly we have another technique called as decision tree. So as the name itself suggests, in this problem we will be constructing a decision tree, and that tree, by looking at the tree, we will tell for a given data, for a given new test data, we should be able to predict, right, what is the possible outcome, right? So friends, quickly we will look at our training data. So this is the problem on which we are going to work. Each and every student should listen this carefully till the end of today's class. Otherwise you will not understand decision tree, and this will come in your mid exam, no doubt in that, right? This will come in your mid exam. I'll make some changes in the training data, right? And I'll ask this question in your mid exam, and definitely you can even expect this in your external exam. So fine, this is the training data. I have 14 records, and if you observe, playing tennis is my output variable or outcome variable, right? In which the person will go for playing tennis game, right, based on certain parameters. So here the parameters are outlook, temperature, humidity, wind, right? So based on the values of these four parameters, we will decide whether to go for playing a tennis game or not. So here, if you observe, I have 14 records. These numbers are very, very important, my dear friends. So I have 14 records, and in these 14 records, if you observe, there are 9 positive examples. Positive examples means output is yes. So if you count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 positive examples. One second. Yeah. So we have 9 positive examples out of 14 records. 9 positive examples we have, and we have 5 negative examples, right? So friends, now I'll first show you the output. So this is the output for the 14 records data set, whatever you have seen. This is the decision tree. This is the decision tree. So the root node is outlook, my left child is humidity, right one is wind, and overcast it is leaf nodes will show you the decision. Overcast is yes. So we will come to know, we will try to understand this decision tree concept. First of all, we should know why I have taken outlook as the root node, right? See here we have 4 parameters, my dear friends: outlook, temperature, humidity, and wind. And if you see in the decision tree, outlook became the root node. Why outlook became the root node? There should be some reason, there should be some logic behind it. That is one point. Second important point is we have 4 parameters: outlook, humidity, wind, and temperature. But in the output decision tree, the only 3 parameters are there. The fourth parameter, temperature, is not there in the decision tree. So what will happen if temperature, or if any one of the parameter is not there in the decision tree, is it correct? Is it valid? All those questions we need to answer. Then only we will get complete understanding of decision tree, right? So, friends, now we will try to solve the problem. In order to solve the decision tree problem, we need to understand two important words called as entropy and information gain. Entropy and information gain. Entropy is used to measure the homogeneity of training examples, right? So if I have 14 records in my training data, if I want to study the similarity of those examples, if I want to study if I want to measure the homogeneity of those training examples, then I will try to calculate the entropy. Formula for entropy is given here. There are two ways of representing the formula. First one and second one, both are same. First one is abstract, second one is little bit elaborated. Now please observe this second formula. Here P by P plus N. P means positive examples, N means negative examples. So please remember, P is positive examples, N is negative examples. Formula for entropy is minus P by P plus N into log of P by P plus N. And here, if you observe, it is log base 2 minus N by P plus N log of N by P plus N. So again log base 2, right? So this is the formula. Now entropy value, this is an important note. Please remember, entropy value will be always between 0 and 1, right? If equal number of positive and negative examples are there in the data set, then entropy will be 1. Got the point, friends? E will be 1 if I have equal number of positive and negative examples. Suppose in our example, we have 14 records and 9 are positive, 5 are negative. Instead of that, if I have 7 positive, 7 negative, then the entropy would have been 1. Similarly, entropy will be 0 if all examples belong to same class. Means if all 14 records are positive, then E is 0. If all 14 records are negative also, E will be 0. So remember this point. We will be using these conditions also in our upcoming discussion. So we will move on. Information gain. Information gain is another important parameter which we are going to compute and which we are going to use in the construction of decision tree. So information gain will be calculated for every parameter or for every attribute. So friends, here entropy, here capital S represents the entire data set. So first entropy of S will be calculated. Entropy of S means capital S means entire data set where I have 14 records, right? So first I will calculate entropy value of my entire data set where I have 14 records. So that is my first step. Then I should calculate information gain. Information gain is an important parameter which will be calculated for every attribute. How many attributes we have in the data set? 4 attributes we have, right? Outlook, temperature, humidity, wind. These are the 4 attributes, right? So playing tennis, that is my output variable, right? So playing tennis is my dependent variable of outlook, temperature, humidity, wind are independent variables, right? So playing tennis depends on how many parameters? 4 parameters. So for every parameter, for every attribute, I need to calculate information gain. How do I calculate information gain? This is the formula. Gain of S comma A is equal to entropy of S. So entropy I'll calculate on entire data set. That value I'll use, right? Minus sigma of SV by S into entropy of SV. So here friends, what we have to do is we have to find entropy, right, of every attribute with respect to their possible values. You can understand this example of gain, this formula of gain, after seeing the example, right? So sigma means summation, right? So I'll show you, please observe carefully. Let us now solve the problem. So first calculate entropy for entire data set, that is E of S. So I hope you remember the data set. We have 14 records, out of which 9 are positive, 5 are negative. This is very important because we use them in the formula. What is the formula for entropy? Minus P by P plus N log of P by N, log of P by P plus N, minus N by P plus N into log of N by P plus N. So friends, I'll substitute the values of positive and negative examples. In my entire data set, I have 14 records, 9 are positive. So minus 9 by 14 log 9 by 14, minus 5 by 14 log 5 by 14, right? Now, before we move on, so the entropy value is 0.940. Now, yesterday, someone shared with me that when they were calculating the values, they have got some different value, right? So, the reason for getting a different value is you might have used a normal online calculator wherein the log value by default will be, it will not be 2. So log base also you should check. I don't know whether the student who asked me, whether that particular student is present in the class or not. Are you available, my dear? Someone sent a message yesterday, right, regarding different logarithm values. If you are present, you can please just acknowledge that you are available here. I don't think, fine, no problem. So friends, here while calculating entropy, make sure that you are using log base 2 only, right? So you can use logarithm textbooks, or if you are doing it in a computer, you can straight away use any online calculator, but make sure that the log is set to base 2, then only you will get the proper result. So entropy of S I calculated, I got 0.940, right? So this part is completed. Calculating entropy on entire data set is my first step, in which I got the value of entropy as 0.940, right? I'll be very happy if you can note all these things in a piece of paper, then it will be easy for you, because we will be using them again and again. Right, now first step, calculating entropy is completed. Now what was our previous step? Information gain, right? So it should be calculated for every attribute. So what I will do, I'll take one attribute. See, we have to find entropy for every attribute also, and find the gain. So let us go with outlook as our first attribute. Now if you observe here friends, go to the data set, please observe carefully. What are the possible values for outlook? Sunny, overcast, rainy. How many possible values are there for outlook? For outlook we have only 3 possible values. So how many times sunny came? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times rainy came? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. How many times overcast came? 4 times. Now what I will do is, when I want to calculate entropy for an attribute, I can't calculate entropy on the entire attribute directly. I should, in that attribute, I should see how many different possible values are there. In Outlook, I have 3 different possible values. sunny, overcast, rainy. Now for sunny, overcast, rainy, I should calculate entropies separately. Got the point? So please observe if the outlook, if you observe this training data, right? Sunny, for the first record, outlook value is sunny. What is the outcome? Play tennis? No. Second one, sunny? No. And eighth and ninth record, sunny? No. Sunny? Yes. Then sunny? Yes again. Similarly, overcast? Yes. Overcast? Yes. Overcast? Yes. Overcast? Yes. Got the point? So I need to pick up the possible values of outlook attribute and what is the outcome of that play tennis, whether he is going to play tennis or not. So I will get my outlook attribute. I will divide it into three small or three subsets. It will look like this. Please observe the bottom of the screen. Now out of total records, if you observe outlook, we had sunny as the value for outlook for 5 times. Now whenever I got sunny, what was the outcome? Was it yes or no? Was it a positive outcome or negative outcome? That I have to record. Sunny no, sunny no, sunny no, sunny yes, sunny yes. From where I got it? From my main data set only. Similarly, rainy yes, rainy yes, rainy no, rainy yes, rainy no. Similarly, overcast yes, 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 yes. So 5 records here, 5 records here, plus 4. 5 plus 5 plus 4, total 14 records. But now, since Outlook has 3 different possible values, now Outlook parameter is divided into 3 small subsets. Got the point? Now, till this point, is it clear to everyone how this small subtable is created? How this small subtable is created? Is it clear to everyone? Please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know in the chat box. Till now things are clear. Right. Thank you. Fine. Now what I will do, now it's like my new data set. Now let us assume that I have 3 different small tables and 3 different data sets. Now just observe the only first one. How many records are there? 5. How many records I have? I have 5 records. Just like the way we have applied entropy formula here, see here on our main data set, what we have done, we have applied this formula. 9 plus 5 is 14. We have 14 records in the main data set. 9 were positive, 5 were negative. Similarly, the way we have calculated entropy for entire data set, here I will calculate entropy for my Outlook sunny parameter. How many records I have? 5. Total number of records are 5. How many are positive examples? Only 2. How many are negative examples? 3. So we have to apply the formula. So Bob, it is instead of 9 plus 5, now here it will be 2 plus 3. So how many are negative examples? How many are positive examples? Only 2. So it will be 2 by minus 2 by 3 plus 2. Similarly, log 2 by 3 plus 2. Here it will be again same, sir. How many negative examples I have? 3. So 3 by 2 plus 3 log of 3 by 2 plus 3. So if you apply this formula, which you are seeing right now on the screen, instead of 9 and 5, you are going to substitute the values based on this particular small table. Total records are 5, positive are 3, negative are 2. P value is, positive are 2, negative is 3. So P value is 2, N value is 3. Total is 5. Now same entropy formula if I apply on my first subset, the value which I got is 0.971, right? 0.971. Similarly, for the next one, rainy, since see here, the number of records are 5, positive or 2, negative or positive or 3, negative or 2, right? So again, since it is 2, 3, 2 and 3 combination, same result I'll get. For rainy also, the entropy is 0.971. Coming to the third one, if you observe third one, I have total number of records are 4, but I will not put it in the formula because I remember that if all examples belong to same class, if all examples belong to same class, either positive or negative, entropy will be 0. So I need not put the formula, straight away I can write entropy will be 0. So if you observe, friends, we have calculated entropy for outlook parameter when the value was sunny, when the value was rainy, when the value was overcast. So I got 3 entropy values for my outlook parameter based on its values. So outlook sunny 0.971, outlook rainy 0.971, outlook overcast 0. Now I will calculate the information gain. See here, this formula I will apply, this formula, gain of S comma A. Here we have sigma, right? Sigma means summation. So please observe entropy of S. What is entropy of overall data set? 0.940. See here what I am doing. First I will calculate this sigma part. So what is the formula? How many in Outlook, how many different values we had? We have 3 different values: sunny, rainy, overcast. So in under sigma part, you will get 3 values: sunny, rainy, overcast. So for sunny, how many positive examples were there? Only 2. How many negative examples were there? 3. 2 plus 3 divided by, see here, this is important, and most of the time you will commit mistake here. Here what students will do is, sunny positive examples are 2, sunny negative examples are 3. Here it will be 2 plus 3, numerator, denominator immediately they will write 5. Please observe the formula. Here it is P plus N. P plus N means our main data set. It is 9 plus 5. It is 9 plus 5, my dear students. So it will be 2 plus 3 divided by 9 plus 5. So it will be 5 by 14. 5 by 14 into what is the entropy of sunny? What is the entropy of sunny? 0.971 plus again rainy plus rainy, positive outcome and negative outcome of rainy, 2 plus 3, 5 divided by 14. Entropy what we got? 0.971 multiplied by 0.971 plus overcast, positive outcomes, negative outcomes, all are positive. So negative will be 0, positive is 4. 4 divided by 14. But what is the entropy of outlook overcast? Outlook overcast entropy was 0. So the entire product, this entire third product will become 0, right? So if you apply this one, whatever information average, that sigma part, whatever we are getting is close to 0.693. So 0.693 is that sigma part, and the gain which I am going to get is entropy of S minus I of attribute. Entropy of S minus I of attribute. What is entropy of S? Means entropy of overall data set, which is 0.940 minus. Now what was the I value I got after doing summation, all those things on outlook attribute? I got 0.693. 0.940 minus 0.693, I'll get 0.247. So friends, this is gain calculated for outlook parameter or outlook attribute. So what is the gain of outlook attribute? 0.247. So till now what we have done, we have calculated gain for only outlook parameter. And remember this value 0.247. 0.247. So gain of outlook is calculated. Same process you have to apply for temperature, humidity, wind. So what is the gain of temperature? What is the gain of humidity? What is the gain of wind? So if I want to calculate gain of temperature, what should I do? First of all, I should see under temperature how many different values are there. Those many subsets I will get. For every subset, I will calculate entropy. Right? See here, just like outlook, for temperature I am getting the subsets. So I will go to my main table, main data set. I will see how many different values for temperature are there. For temperature also I am getting three values. Temperature is hot, mild and cool. Now what I need to do is I need to create subtables or subsets, and I need to copy the value hot. Whenever it is hot, what is the outcome? So hot, no, hot, yes, like that. Mild, yes, mild, no, mild, yes, mild, yes, mild, yes, mild, no. Cool, yes, cool, no, cool, yes, cool, yes. Right? How do I get these subtables or subsets? From my main database, from here. So outlook is completed. Now I look at temperature. Hot, no. Hot, no. Hot, yes. Like that, all attribute values, wherever there is hot, it will become one subset. Along with the value hot, what is the outcome? That also we are going to write. So hot, mild, cool, there are three possible values. So what I'll get is, I'll get three subsets, just like sunny, rainy and overcast. Here I'll get temperature values are hot, mild and cool. So how many times it was hot in the main data set? Hot came 4 times. And what is the outcome? No, no, yes, yes. And how many times it was mild? It was mild for 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times. And what is the outcome? One time it was yes, second, third one yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 times it is yes. Positive examples are 4, negative examples are 2. And similarly for cool, 4 times cool came, and if you observe 3 times it is positive example, once it is negative example. Now for all these three subsets, I need to find the entropy. Now if you observe the first table, by looking at the first table, you can tell what will be the entropy of temperature. If we have equal number of positive and negative examples, entropy will be 1. Right? We have noted it down in the definition of entropy itself. So if we have equal number of positive and negative examples, entropy of that particular parameter will be 1. So entropy of temperature, when the parameter value is hot, its entropy will be 1. Similarly, you need to calculate entropy for mild. Right? So how many records are there in mild? Number of records are 6. How many are positive? 4 are positive. How many are negative? 2 are negative. So p value is 4, n value is 2. Apply that in, put it into our entropy formula. Minus p by p plus n log of p by p plus n minus n by p plus n log of n by p plus n. So whatever 9, 5 and 14 were there, now they will be replaced here in the second one with 4, 2 and 6. For first one, you need not calculate. Just by looking at the table, you can tell equal number of positive and negative examples are there. So the entropy will be 1. For second subset, you have to calculate the entropy. Small p value is 4, n value is 2, total is 6. Put it in entropy formula, you will get the entropy. Similarly, for the third subset, I have 4 records. 3 are positive examples, 1 is negative example. Again, put it in entropy formula, you will get entropy for all 3 subsets also. Now that entropy calculation, I have not shown it here because for Outlook we have seen. Now straight away I am calculating I of temperature. What is this I? I means average. And what is the formula? Right? P of hot plus N of hot. So from first table, I need to pick how many positive examples are there, how many negative examples. Divided by, again, for Outlook also I told you, always whenever you calculate average information entropy, whenever you calculate I value, the denominator P plus N will be from the main data set. So it will be 9 plus 5. Denominator is 14. And why I got three values I am getting, because I have three subsets. So P hot plus N hot. How many P hot? We have 2. N hot 2. Positive examples per hot are 2. Negative examples are 2. 2 plus 2, 4 by 9 plus 5, 14. 4 by 14 into what is the entropy? When we have equal number of examples, entropy will be 1. So into 1 plus 4 plus 2. Why 4 plus 2 in the second category? See here we have 6 records. 4 are positive examples, 2 are negative examples. 4 plus 2 divided by 14 into 0.918. This 0.918 you will get when you apply that entropy formula. Entropy you have to calculate. Similarly for third one. So when I compute this I of temperature, what I got is 0.911. So I of temperature is 0.911. Now what is the gain? Gain of temperature is equal to overall entropy minus I of temperature. What is overall entropy? Entropy of entire data set 0.940. 0.940 minus 0.911. You will see the difference, 0.029. So this is how I got the gain of temperature. Same process I should repeat on the remaining two parameters, humidity and wind. Humidity and wind. Now coming to third parameter. In humidity, we have only two possible values. Humidity is normal, humidity is high. So I got two subsets. Now if you look at this first subset, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 records are there, out of which 6 are positive examples, 1 is negative example. Similarly, if you look at the second subset, we have a total 7 records again, out of which 3 are positive examples, 4 are negative examples. Now you know P value, N value. You have apply entropy formula, you will get entropy for high, it is 0.985. Means entropy for this right hand side table is 0.985. Entropy for this left hand side subset is 0.591. Entropy calculation is done by the formula which we have already discussed, which we have seen a couple of times already, right? Minus P by P plus N, log of P by P plus N minus, right, N by P plus N into log of N by P plus N. So that formula you will apply. P and N values are given. P and N values are here. You apply entropy formula, you will get entropy. So entropy for high humidity value, when humidity value is high, the entropy is 0.985. Humidity value is normal, based on number of positive and negative examples, entropy is 0.591. Now I of humidity, which is our sigma part. I of humidity I need to calculate. What is the formula? How many positive and negative examples are there inside high? 3 plus 4 divided by, always it is main data set. P plus N denominator should be from the main data set, because we are calculating average information entropy. So it will be 14. So 3 plus 4, from first one I get 3 plus 4 divided by 14 into entropy of humidity when it is high, which is 0.985, plus 6 plus 1 by 14, 6 plus 1 by 14 into its entropy. Entropy is 0.591. So when I apply this, I got I value of humidity as 0.788. 0.788. Now, what is the gain? Gain is equal to 0.940 overall entropy minus 0.788. If I subtract, I'll get the gain of humidity as 0.152. Same process will be applied for the another parameter, windy parameter. The gain which we are going to get is 0.048. Now friends, we have, after calculating gain for all four attributes. Now please observe this. What is the gain of outlook? 0.247. What is the gain of temperature? 0.029. What is the gain of humidity? 0.152. What is the gain of windy? 0.048. Now which attribute has got the maximum gain? Which attribute has got the maximum gain? Outlook. Outlook has got the maximum gain. That is the reason outlook became the root node. That is the reason outlook became the root node. Till this point, is it clear? Please let me know. I may take another half an hour because we have to complete this example today. So please have patience and pay attention. Till this point, is it clear how outlook became root node? How outlook became root node? Yeah. Yes, sir. Clear. 572 has responded. How about remaining students? Fine. Thank you. Fine. Thank you. So we will move on. Chalo. Outlook has become the root node. Fine. Now what will be the next question? What will be the next question? Can anyone guess what should be the next question? Okay. Outlook is the root node. The next question is, how many children the root node should have? So the next question is, how many children the root node should have? 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? Got the point? Did you understand the question first of all? So the root node is outlook. Now I can draw the tree. I can start drawing the tree. Root node is outlook. Then how many children the root node can have? Root node outlook can have the number of children, right? It can be 2, 3, or 4. What is the answer? The number of children of the root node depend on a number of different values that are there for the root node. So here the root node is outlook. Here the root node is outlook. Let me show you the output. Yeah. See this one. We have not completely reached to the leaf nodes, but up to this point we have understood. So what is the root node? Outlook. How many childs the root node can have? That depends on how many different values the outlook parameter has got, or whatever root node you have identified. How many different values are there for that root node? For outlook, how many different values are there? How many different values are there for outlook? Sunny, overcast, and rainy. Sunny, rainy, overcast. This is what is the data set, right? So for outlook, we have three different values: sunny, overcast, and rainy. So the number of children must be 3. Now, one important point is, if you observe our data set, whenever it is overcast, what is the output here? Please observe, overcast. Output is yes. Overcast. Output is yes. Overcast. Output is yes. Overcast. Output is yes. Means in all cases, if it is overcast, my friend will go and play tennis. Means the outcome is clear. I need not make any further decisions. Decision is clear. If the outlook parameters value is overcast, then if it is overcast, he is going to play the game. So please observe here, this is not a node, my dear, this is leaf. This is leaf. So first identify what will be the root node. So in our example, the root node is Outlook. How Outlook became root node, entire process we have seen. Now, how many children root node will have? That depends on how many different values root node has got. Our Outlook parameter has got. Now here root node is Outlook, and Outlook has got 3 different parameters. So there will be 3 children coming out of the root node. And one is sunny, second one is overcast, third one is rainy. Now, just by looking at my data set, I know that if the value of overcast, whenever there is overcast, if the value of Outlook is overcast, every time the result was yes. So straight away I can write yes as the leaf node. Means outcome will be yes if the Outlook value is overcast. For that you can cross check this. So irrespective of remaining parameters, if Outlook is overcast, outcome is yes. 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 Means irrespective of remaining parameters, I can say that if there is overcast, outcome is yes. So straight away I can write yes. So please observe the leaf nodes will be the outcomes. Yes, no values will be leaf nodes. So here now I got 3 children. Why I got 3 children? Because there are 3 possible values. And since overcast it is always yes, straight away I can make it leaf node. Now coming to sunny and rainy. Coming to sunny and rainy. Here I have written humidity. Here we have written wind. But how? How can you write humidity and wind? Why not temperature? Instead of humidity, why not wind? On what basis you have written? So again we are here at a question mark only. So if it is sunny, then what next? If it is sunny, then what next? Similarly, if it is rainy, then which node will come next? We don't know as of now. This is output, sir, final output. But how we arrived to humidity, how we arrived to windy, that calculation we should see. But if it is overcast, it is always true. So I have written yes, it is the leaf node now. So this one we have solved. But if it is sunny and rainy, what we need to do? So see here. So root node is Outlook. Fine. And how many children Outlook has got? 3. So 3 childs will come, 3 lines will come out of that root node. And in that, one is overcast, and all 4 combinations of overcast show that they are positive examples. So I make straight away after overcast, I will write it as yes, and that yes is my leaf node. Fine. So one value of Outlook parameter, which is overcast, is handled, no issue. Now how about sunny and rainy? That we have to see. So what we will do, we will move on. Now I will see whenever Outlook is sunny, how many examples are there from training data set, from my main data set. Now I am trying to divide it into subsets based on Outlook value sunny and Outlook value rainy. Overcast, I don't have a problem, all are positive, and straight away I can make it leaf node. Now if you observe here, I bought these 5 records from my main data set where Outlook value is sunny. Similarly, I bought these 5 records from my main data set where Outlook value is rainy. Now listen to me carefully. We have started this entire discussion with our training data set with 14 records, right? Now that entire process will be repeated on these 2 data sets now. So this is a new data set now, and this is also a new data set. So Outlook value sunny is giving me 5 records. That is a new data set. Outlook value rainy is giving me 5 more records. That is a new data set, right? So now my difficulty is root node is identified. Now root node has 3 possible values: sunny, overcast, and rainy. For overcast, I have identified leaf node as yes. So problem is solved. But for sunny and rainy, What, I can't write the leaf node because I don't have same number of yes or no values, right? All should be positive examples or all should be negative examples to make it leaf node. But for sunny and rainy, if you observe here, I don't have such facility, so I can't write any leaf node there. Some other node should come. What is that some other node? How do I calculate it? So you have to solve the problem again by taking these two subsets. So when outlook is sunny, I got a new subset with 5 records. When outlook is rainy, I got a new subset with 5 more records. Now if outlook is sunny, how many records I have? 5. And how many positive examples, how many negative examples? In main data set it was 14 records, 9 positive, 5 negative. Now in this new data set where outlook is sunny, total number of records are 5, positive are 2, negative are 3. So n is 3, n is 3, p is 2, total is 5. Now what I will do is, first I will take outlook as sunny. This is one new data set. I will work on this new data set. Again I should work on my third data set, outlook equal to rainy. So please observe here, repeat the process, right? So let us take humidity. Now outlook values are sunny. Let us take humidity. Now if how many positive examples are there? Right, total positive examples are 2, total negative examples are 3. Entropy can be calculated for this entire table. Now what we are doing is, I am trying to calculate I value for my humidity parameter. For humidity there are 3 high values, 2 are normal values. So again calculate entropy. When humidity value is high, what is the entropy? When humidity value is normal, what is the entropy? Then apply that I formula, sigma part, calculate I of humidity, right? Then gain is equal to entropy minus I of humidity, which is 0.971. See, entire process we have discussed when we were talking about outlook parameter, right? So for second subset table, I am not showing you the entire process because you know very well now, right? So this will be your second data set. This is your second data set. Wherever I am showing my mouse pointer, this is your second data set, or you can say new data set. This is also new data set. Now what should I do is, for outlook equal to sunny, this is my separate data set. I need to calculate entropy for this one. So entropy will be P plus N. That formula should be applied. Negative examples we have 3, positive we have 2. So it will be minus 2 by 5 into log of 2 by 5 minus 3 by 5 into log of 3 by 5. So that value we will take it as entropy of this new table. So here E of S means this is the new data set. Now I calculate information gain for humidity, information gain for temperature, information gain for windy, and I'll subtract them from the gain entropy. So I'll get gain parameter. So gain is 0.971 for humidity, right? So remaining I did not show you. I have just written everything. So see here, gain for temperature was 0.571. We have not shown it. We assume that we have done the calculation. Gain for humidity is 0.971. Gain for windy is 0.002. Now in these three, what is the biggest value? 0.971, right? And this we have done, this entire calculation we have done on which table? We have done it on this table where outlook is equal to sunny. Since we have done it on this table or in this data where outlook equal to sunny, what I will do is, my next node in that sunny attribute should be humidity. My next node in that sunny attribute should be humidity. Similarly, see here, outlook, sunny. How I got humidity? Because I have done all those calculations. Here what should I do? Same process. This is my third data set. Number of records are 5. Positive examples are 3. Negative are 2. Calculate the entropy. Then again for every parameter calculate I of temperature, I of humidity, I of windy. Subtract them from the entropy of this rainy data set, you will get the gain. And when we have seen the gain, it has been observed like windy has got the most maximum gain when compared to humidity and temperature. So this parameter, this question mark will be replaced by windy. Right. Now friends, now if you observe humidity covered outlook is the root node, humidity has become one of the node, windy has become another node, but temperature is missing. Temperature here after calculation, it has been noticed like gain of windy is maximum in that rainy data set. When we have considered only outlook value as rainy, in that small data set, when we have calculated the gain, windy was getting maximum gain, so windy will come here or wind will come here. Now if you observe carefully, outlook came, humidity came, wind came, but how about temperature? Temperature is missing. So please don't think that, sir, one attribute is missing, then do you think that this is a complete tree? Yes, it is still a complete tree only. If one of the attribute is missing, it doesn't mean that it is incomplete. If one of the attribute is not coming in our decision tree, it means that that attribute is not significant. That attribute is not required in order to make the prediction or in order to make the decision. Got the point? Now please observe, for outlook, we have only three possible values: sunny, overcast, and rainy. So obviously we can get only three childs into my outlook or to my root node. And in that, one of the child itself became a leaf node. So here hardly I can fill two other attributes, which were humidity and windy. So obviously there is no chance for rainy. Fine. Now, if you observe friends here, see, this is what we have done calculations for second table also, right? Now, if we go back, right? So it is windy. Now, if you observe for humidity, now again for humidity, I can't directly write like leaf nodes like this. Now, what I need to do is I should go to humidity part and I should see what are the values of humidity, right? So go to the table, main data set, see the values of humidity, right? If you observe, right, only this case you have to see humidity. Whenever humidity is high, right, whenever humidity is high, see here, whenever humidity is high, the outcome is no. Whenever humidity is high, outcome is no. Humidity is high but outcome is yes. Please don't get confused. Here the outlook parameter is overcast, so you have to take humidity values where the outlook is sunny, because see that tree, we are coming from outlook. When the parameter is sunny, I'll come to humidity. If humidity is high, then in all such cases he is not going to play the tennis game, no. So if you observe here, in all sunny cases 1 2, whenever it is sunny and if humidity is high, output is no. Similarly, sunny, humidity is high, record number 8, output is no. Right, record number 9, humidity outlook is sunny, humidity is normal, it is yes. So if you observe friends, whenever we are looking into the outlook parameters sunny records, we have only 5 such records. In all those 5 records, if you look at humidity value, if it is high, the outcome is no. If it is normal, the outcome is yes. So since I am able to make the decision, I need not further continue the problem. I can write like this, no and yes. So this yes and no are my leaf nodes. Similarly, if I go to the right side wind parameter, from where I got to this wind parameter, from Outlook, if the value of Outlook is rainy, and in that case, how many records we got? When Outlook is rainy, we got 5 records. In those 5 records, if you see the wind parameter, if the wind is strong, always the outcome was no. If wind is weak, always the outcome was yes. So I can make a decision. So I have made them as leaf nodes. If you cannot make a decision, again you further continue the problem, right? You further continue the problem, and maybe the temperature or any other parameter, even they will come into picture. So after identifying that this parameter is wind, you have to see how many children wind has, the way we have seen for root node. Outlook, how many children are possible, how many values over there? There are 3 values, so 3 children. Similarly, for wind, how many children are possible? How many different values are there? Strong and weak, only 2. So 2 children. Now, when Outlook is rainy and if wind is strong, then what is the outcome? In all such cases, outcome was no. If Outlook is rainy and wind is weak, in all such cases, output was yes. So I further need not do or continue this problem. I can write my decisions in the form of leaf nodes. So this is what was the entire process of constructing a decision tree. So this process will further continue, my dear friends. If until unless you get the leaf nodes, this process will be repeated, right? So if you observe, temperature parameter was missing. So it doesn't mean that it is incomplete tree. Without depending on temperature parameter also, we can make predictions. That is what is the meaning, right? So is it clear to everyone? Of course, I understand it's a very big example. It's a very big example. The process was a very lengthy process, but it is important, very important, most expected question. So please let me know whether you understood the construction process of decision tree. Construction process of the decision tree. Please respond. H0, 515, 572, 5D5, 502. Please respond. Right. So please type in the chat box. So the construction of, yeah, 502, 5H0, yeah. So construction of decision tree, right? I hope it is clear to everyone. Please respond in the chat box. Of course, the process is very big, but as long as you try to solve it with paper and pen, you feel that the process is difficult. But if you can convert this process into if you can convert this algorithm into a program, so it is a one-time job, my dear friends. Once the program is available, your program will start constructing the decision tree, and it will be easy. So once you understand the algorithm, it will be very there is 572. There is no shortcut, sir. No, my dear, there is no shortcut, right? There is no shortcut, and don't depend on the shortcuts, right? And there are so many other algorithms which are more complex than decision trees, right? So maybe decision tree seems to be little bit lengthy kind of thing, but decision tree is not the complex one. Much more complex algorithms we will be studying as part of this subject in due course, right? So I thank you for your patience hearing. I conclude today's session. So I hope decision tree is clear to everyone. And you have to practice this. You have to go through this recording again, and you have to practice this. Then only you will understand. Otherwise, what will happen is now you feel like, okay, I understood it. But tomorrow, if you try to solve it, you will feel it very difficult, and you may get confused also. So go through the recording in the evening or after your lunch. Try to solve the problem again with all complete steps, right? So that's all from my side. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.